I'm reminded of what Christ says in Matthew 5:13. You're the salt of the earth, but if it loses its purpose and function, it's no longer good for anything. And to understand the illustration, the reader has to understand in biblical times they didn't have refrigerators. So you couldn't just, open up a fridge and put your food in there to prolong its shelf life. So instead, what they did was they took salt and they added it to meat, and salt acted as a way to preserve and prolong the shelf life of meat. Well, now we, the church, are the salt of the earth, and the meat in this scenario would represent the culture of the world. And the first question is the meat going bad? And it's a obvious yes, the meat's going bad. Look at the news, look at social media. But then here's the implicit point within this illustration. Suppose you live in these biblical times and you go to the local market, buy a bag of salt, then you come home and you begin to add the salt to various pieces of meat. But then after a few days, you notice something strange. You notice no matter how much salt you add or what type of meat it is, the meat continues to perish and spoil and rotten just as it normally would, as if it had no salt to begin with. Well, if this continues to happen, then there's going to come a time where you're going to have to be objectively unbiased to step back and no longer ask what's wrong with the meat, but at some point step back and honestly ask yourself what's wrong with the salt.